That's some dirty, dirty water. All that's doing is stopping the flow. It is time. Bonus S weed and feed. Ant killer, grub killer, flea and tick killer, all types of killer, cockroach, spiders. Let's talk about it. So the Bonus S weed and feed. I like to use this as a blanket fertilizer, weed killer, stuff like that, twice a year. I like to do it in the spring when the soil's warm. It's going to green up the grass, it's going to wake up the grass, and it's going to kill a buttload of weeds. This stuff's pretty good, reasonably priced for what you get. It's not the best. But it's good stuff, and it's readily available at Home Depot, Lowe's, and all types of different places. When it comes to the granular bug killer, I am not very picky. I'm not brand loyal. I'll use basically whatever's on sale because it all works. It's all poison. I wouldn't eat it, and no matter what I put down, I'm going to keep my dogs off of it for a little while. So with that said, I'll use pretty much any brand as long as it's cost effective. It says treats up to 10,000 square foot, so I'm going to use about a half a bag, and I'm going to do my whole backyard with this later. Because I have such a crazy mix of all types of different grass and weeds and stuff like that in my backyard because of the dogs, I'm not going to put down a weed and feed. I don't put down any type of spray or liquid weed killer, except for like Roundup, not Roundup, but stuff like Roundup, non-selective herbicides for where I want to kill everything like flower beds and stuff. But as far as the actual turf, it's pretty tore up because of my dogs, and I don't actually put sod down or anything like that. So I think I said in a previous video, I will simply get seed of whatever and throw it down in bare spots, and if it takes, it takes. If it don't, it don't. Mostly it does. But to keep it nice and healthy and thick weeds and to help fight the dogs, I get this little turf builder. This is just straight up fertilizer. That's all this is. This is like 33.0 something. 33.010. This is just straight up. This is just gonna green it up, and that's it. It's not gonna kill weeds. Otherwise, if I did, it would kill everything. So I'll just throw this down just to have a nice, healthy, thicker backyard, regardless of what it is. But like everything and anything, before you change the oil in your equipment, you got to get ready. You got to get your equipment ready. You got to prep, right? Same thing with your lawn. Before you put down your weed and feed, your fertilizers, your bug sprays, your bug granules, and everything that you're going to do, you always got to prep. So to prep, we need to do the yard. So let's go ahead and knock it out. want them to be super tight. I don't want to live in a museum, so I'm just trimming them. Hey, for a list of all my equipment that I'm going to be using this year, I just put up a video, so I'll link to that right here. All right, my 2018 lawn care setup. I like the bushes to be soft. I don't want to live in a museum. This one needs to grow up a little bit more than it'll equal. I call this my castle. My kids call it the helicopter because I was a flight engineer on a Chinook and they kind of look like that, sort of. All right, now we got to clean it up. I want to shut the garage because I don't want all this crap blowing in. Hold on, noise pollution. All right, so now the goal is we edged, we trimmed the bushes. Now we're gonna go ahead and use the weed eater. We're gonna clean up the edges, we're gonna weed eat the yard, we're gonna prep it for mowing, and we're gonna use the weed eater to directional weed eat. And what that means is I'm gonna be pulling the stuff out of the flower beds by using the 9 o'clock position of my weed eater head. And I'll explain that as we go, but it's called directional weed eating. It's how you direct the debris away from certain things and you pull it out, almost like raking, and you chop it up at the same time. Using this part of my weed eater head as it spins this way, I'm going to make contact with the debris right here. It's going to pull it all back. So that's an example of directional weed eating. And now you can go through here real light with a blower and clean it up, and you're not disturbing like your mulch and stuff too bad. I mean, the other option is you hand pick it or you very lightly rake it, you know, whatever. I'm not here to say what's better, I'm just showing you. I'm going to show you guys a perfect example as to why pro lawn people weed eat the border of your yard, and then you guys say, why do you weed eat the border of your yard? Here's an exact reason why. See how there's thickness here? So if you run the mower wheels on the sidewalk and the grass is up high, you might burn your edge. So you might want to keep the wheels of your mower on the grass, which means the blade is going to miss about an inch of lawn here, because your wheels are about an inch further than your blades, okay, on a regular mower. Now, if you have a big commercial mower, you might not need to worry about that. But the back wheel might be on the concrete and then, or on the grass. So they do it still, and I do it still, even with big pro mowers. But especially with little mowers, you got concrete and thicker, taller grass. So you don't want the wheels on the concrete and burning the grass, and you don't want the wheels on the grass and missing the edge. So you just go and you make a border, and then as you're mowing, you decide what you want to do, because on the same yard, you have this situation where there's no thickness. And so if you're on the driveway with your wheels, then the blade's not even mowing the lawn because the lawn's so low. So you're going to have the wheels on the grass, and so you're going to need the weed eater to even this all out, or that would look terrible. What we need here is some dirt, and we need to stop driving on the grass, but we do, and that's what we got. So to make it so you don't have stragglers here, you would mow on the grass. You would then miss. And then, so that's why we just make our border with the weed eater. It takes no time at all. And then as we go with our mower, we know that it's going to blend in perfect. And it'll be the right height, and everything will be nice and square, regardless of your situation. I did a video a couple weeks ago. It was it was my actual vlog video. We vlogged about the atrazine, and we vlogged about the spray with the glyphosate N using Let's Go Prosecutor. And I sprayed my neighbor's flower beds really good, and that's what happened. I'm kidding. That happened because this is freshwater spigot. This is freshwater spigot, but from her water softener where it's filled with salt, and the guy came and serviced it and drained it right here and killed her plant. So it's still soft. It might come back, but it's been like this for a few months now. It's not looking so good, but we'll see. But yeah, that was from draining the softener. He should have put a garden hose to it and ran it down, but whatever. It was salt water. We sprayed the hell out of these weeds. They were bad. And now you see there's like nothing. There's just little teeny ones that are starting to come back like 2 or 3 weeks later. So it did a fantastic job. It was bad. It was really bad here. Especially back in here. This whole area here was all weeds. This whole thing was weeds, and I sprayed the hell out of it. Sprayed the hell out of this. Boy, the snow and ice did a number on this. That's pretty bad this year. And then we sprayed the hell out of this bed here. And I went a little wide because of all the weeds that were bad. But this is also from the atrazine. So the atrazine did a really good job here, but you see other stuff is coming in now. So that's why we're going to go ahead and do the weed and feed. And all this crap that's in the yard from the wind and stuff, we're just going to bag this yard. That's all from there. So this is the first cut of the year for her yard here. So we haven't done anything. We haven't raked. We haven't done anything. All we did is put atrazine down and spray the prosecutor up there with the glyphosate N. But I just wanted to show you that it got all the weeds good that was here. I'm not really having to do anything with weeds. Everything's like really all chopped down, burned up and gone. So that was gosh, I don't remember which one it was, but I'll look it up and I'll link to it up here. And that's I don't know if that was the steak and weeds one I did or what, but we did a pretty good bang up job, obviously, of killing some weeds. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to rake out this bigger stuff, and then I'm going to blow out the little stuff, and then we're going to mow and bag, and then we'll do a final blow off. The yards are dead. The only thing that has green right now are some weeds. It's so dry, but it's supposed to rain pretty good tomorrow, so that's why I want to get the weed and feed down now. We weed eated, we edged, we trimmed the bushes, we pulled the stuff out of the flower beds, we raked up the most of it, we blew out the rest of it. We're ready for our final step in preparation to put down our weed and feed, ant killer, fertilizer, whatever you're gonna do, you gotta prep it, totally. So now we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna bag the yard with the mower, and I'm gonna mow it at 2 3/4 inches. And to figure that out, you put your mower on level ground, you take a block, you take something, you put your hand underneath the deck, and you line it up with the blade, then you pull it out, and you measure from the bottom of the block to your thumb or whatever touched it, and that's, there you go. So 2 3/4 inches. If you can't see through your bag, air can't get through your bag, so it's not going to vacuum. So if you're having a problem with bagging and it just doesn't seem like it's sucking it in, wash your bag so you can see through it. Alright guys, now the prep work is done. Let me show you this finished product. God, I am so dusty, dirty. It hasn't rained here in a long time. I don't know when it rained last, 2 weeks. And it's just been really dry, and it didn't rain much when it did rain. Oh, it's terrible. But we're supposed to get some really good showers tomorrow, so perfect weekend. Nice and warm. Nice, the soil temps are up. Everything's looking real good, man. We're ready for weed and feed. Let's take a look at this yard. We got the patio set put back, and I didn't do anything more than just a light little blow in there. Nothing much. You saw me rake, but you didn't see me blow it off because, I mean, I don't want this to be a 4-hour video. And, you know, everything's good. Everything was bagged up. I took the clippings and put it back there along the fence where my dogs like to dig. Bushes are trimmed. Got her yard cut nice. Remember how bad that was with the weeds? And look at it. Looks really, really, really good. First cut of the year, and I didn't really hurt myself doing it, you know? Everything looks real good. Got a little bit more blowing off to do. Her yard, I striped it this way. I mowed it this way. Just for poops and giggles. In my yard, I went that way. That is trash right here. All right, let me address a question you guys have. You always ask me this, and I'm sorry. I hope the wind's not too bad. But you guys say, hey Dan, how come you don't just edge to the end and keep going? it would look nice and it would look uniform. Well, I agree with you. But then the next person's going to come along and say, hey Dan, you edged all the way to the edge to the neighbor's driveway to make it nice and uniform. Why don't you weed eat it too? Well, because I don't want to. That's not my customer's yard. But if I'm going to edge it, then yeah, I guess I would weed eat it and make it look even. Then the next person's going to say, well, hey Dan, all I said was edge it. You didn't have to weed eat it. The next person's going to say, well Dan, you edged it and weed eated it. Why don't you just mow the whole thing too? And then next thing you know, I'm mowing a whole area that's not mine or my customers. And so I don't do that. To stop any of that from ever happening, property line. And her property goes on an angle. Right here, the crack in the concrete, when this lot number was done, the curb was built. 99% of the time, your property line is going to be a crack in the gutter. And there it is. And it goes to the corner there. But I usually just square it off with the fence. That's why I don't go all the way and make it uniform. I agree with you, but where does it end? And who do you say, nah, we don't need to do that, while you're doing a little bit for somebody else going, yeah, you're right. So, no questions asked. Property line ends it. If anybody wants me to do more, they can pay me. Looks good. Bushes are soft cut. They don't look like a museum. They just got some shape to them. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my bag because it was so dusty. And I'm going to get the dust off my mower. So that's going to end it for today. That's how we prep the property for weed and feed, fertilizer, pesticide. Anything that you're going to do, you go ahead and knock it out. Now, ideally, if you can, the most ideal conditions is if you can mow your lawn like Friday night after work and then put your weed and feed down 48 to 72 hours later, that's when the weeds are at their maximum uptake of chemicals and nutrients and water and oxygen or carbon dioxide and sun and everything. That's when they're trying to regenerate. It's like a lizard's tail. You chop a tail off, they grow back. Well, you cut the weeds, they grow back. Right now they're in shock. 24 to 48 hours, they start going. 48 to 72 hours, they're sucking it all in. So it's really a good idea to put your weed and feed down like 48 hours after you put your after you mow the lawn. But who has a chance to do that? That's something that some people will say they never heard of it, and some people will say, yeah, I always do it that way. I heard it that way, and it makes sense. The guys at what's it called? Site 1, where I got the atrazine. It was in that video I linked to earlier. I showed you guys above. Those guys used to be Lesco and then John Deere Landscapes and now whatever they are. That's the guy. That guy told me that, mow your lawn, bag it, wait about 72 hours and put your atrazine down. So, because that's when it's on the uptake. But I'm going to go ahead now. Yard looks pretty darn good. I'm going to go ahead and wash the mower off, wash the bag, and go ahead and put down my weed and feed. That's some dirty, dirty water. All that's doing is stopping the flow. As long as you can see through it, you get good airflow. Best damn mower I ever owned.